Hello everyone. Today we shall discuss the concept of multiple inheritance. So we already discussed what is the meaning of inheritance, what are the different types of inheritance like single inheritance, multiple inheritance, hierarchical level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance, different types of inheritance we have discussed. I'll just brief out the concept of multiple inheritance. Here there will be one derived class or a child class which will be having its own properties, its own data members. In addition to that, it is inheriting some of the properties from multiple base classes. Not one class, but there'll be more than two or more than two classes. For example, the problem which is given over here to develop a program wherein there are two base classes. One is called personal information with the data members as name, address, and gender, and one more class called physical information wherein data members include height, weight, blood group. So there are two base classes. Personal information is one base class, physical information is another base class. There is a derived class called salary with the employee number, department, and salary as the data member. Now, salary is a derived class which is inheriting the properties of both personal information as well as physical information. That is why it is called multiple inheritance. A single derived class called salary is inheriting the properties of personal information as well as physical information. Now, here the problem continues. You have to find out the increment on a salary on the following basis. If a employee is male, how do you come to know whether he is a male or female? From personal information. And the department. Department is a property of the derived class. Male is a property of the base class, personal information, and department is a property of a derived class called salary. So if the department is sales or purchase, then 10% should be the increment. For female, once again, information should be taken from personal information and department should be taken from derived class, that is salary. Under that condition, it should be 11%. So that's a overall picture about the program. You are supposed to create two base classes, personal information and physical information, with one derived class called salary. So these are the concepts. Let's go to the program. As I already mentioned, I am defining a class called personal information wherein name, gender, address are the data members. Name, address, and gender. All the three are string. Now you take the value, get personal info. So wherein you take the value for name, address, and gender. This is one base class. Personal info base class. Similarly, we have got display. This is to display the contents of the personal info. This is a base class. Now I have another base class called physical info, wherein height, weight, which are float, blood group is a string. So, so here it's mentioned height, weight, and blood group are the members of the physical info. So height, weight, and blood group. Here also you get the data, read the data, display the data. These are the two member functions. Now I'm coming to a derived class. How do I say it's a derived class? Salary, which is publicly inheriting personal info and publicly inheriting physical info. So there is an inheritance. Salary is a class which is inheriting two classes. What are they? Personal info as well as physical info. Personal info, publicly it is inheriting. Physical info also it is publicly inheriting. So more than one class it is inheriting. That is why it is called a multiple inheritance. A derived class salary is inheriting public info or physical info as well as personal info. In addition to that, there are three data members of its own. That is employee number, department, and salary. Here also you're getting the info. How are you getting the info? Info. Get personal info. Get personal info. This is a function which is defined here in the personal info class. So this is the inheritance property. The function is defined in personal info class. So this particular function is getting the details from personal info. So when the compiler executes this particular instruction, ultimately it goes to this function wherein you are supposed to enter the name, address, and gender. So that will be through inheritance. Similarly, get physical info. So physical info is an info which is mentioned here. So get physical info wherein it is reading height, weight, and blood group. So here name, then address, gender. So name, address, gender is read through personal info. Then height, weight, blood group. These are the three information which it fetches from physical info. So these two are the functions which are defined in the base classes. Then enter the employee number, department, and salary. So these are the informations which are belonging to this particular class itself. So these are the data members of the derived class itself. See, there is no rule which says that derived class should not contain its own data elements. Derived class can contain its own data elements, but it is inheriting the properties of the base class also. So in this case, if any object is created among the class salary, then that particular object will have name, address, gender from personal info, height, weight, blood group from physical info, employee number, department, and salary, its own data elements. So altogether 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 different information are to be entered for the derived class that is called salary. Now, as it is told, increment should be given 10% if the gender is male and if he is belonging to either sales department or purchase department. So, if the gender is male, if it is true, then if the particular male is belonging to sales department or see not and or string compare I department with the purchase department, then increment should be salary into 10%. So display the increment. Otherwise, say no increment. Whereas there is one more which is missing here. There is one more which is missing here. Similarly, if the gender is female, then 0.11% increment should be given. So, as per the program, say what is the program given over here? If the female of the same department, then 11% should be the increment given. So that means, so if the increment is for female, then and if the department is sales or purchase, then increment should be 11%. There's a slight modification required on this particular program. See, if the gender is male, if he is belonging to either sales or purchase, then 10% is the increment and display the increment. Whereas if he is a male and he doesn't belong to any of these two departments, then he will not have any increment. Similarly, if the gender is female and if that female belongs to sales or purchase department, then the increment will be 11%. If the gender is female and the gender doesn't belong to either sales or purchase, then there will be no increment. So these are the concepts. Now, put info is used to display all the details: personal info, physical info, along with that employee number, department, and salary. So this is a member function of the derived class called salary. Now in the main program, very simple, define an object of derived class to get the info wherein 9 different informations will be given. Put the info, 9 information will be displayed. Increment, this is going to calculate an increment based on the gender and sales and purchase department over. So this is a program. See, output comes something like this. Sachin Pandeshwara, male, height, weight 5.5, 65, blood group is A. So employee number 111, sales 1000. See, this is Sachin Pandeshwara, male, is taken from personal information. 5.5 or 65 and A taken from physical information. These are the data members of the derived class. You are displaying all this information. So this is the concept of multiple inheritance. Goodbye.